I want to talk to you today about the importance of choosing a good lender. I get asked all the time for referrals to lenders, and I can't tell you how important this is, whether you're doing a purchase or whether you're doing a refinance on your property. Choosing a good lender is such a key ingredient to having a successful transaction for purchase or refinance. Let's talk a little bit about the role of a lender. Being a real estate broker myself, I would love to take credit for being the most important player in this game, but I think the lender by far is the most important player in the game of real estate, and that's because they really set the tone for what's going to take place as far as matching a client up with the correct loan that's going to meet their needs and giving us a template to go by. Before the search even starts for a home, you have to know what type of loan and if the house qualifies for the criteria of what the loan requires, and also what you can afford and how much money you're going to put down, and if there's any programs that are available that are going to assist you in your plight of buying a home. So let's talk a little bit more about this lender and how important that they are. Real estate, if you liken a escrow transaction to, let's say, sports or a football game specifically, it's made up of many players. So with real estate, you have the realtor, you have the escrow officer, you have a title officer, you have the lender, you have an appraiser, inspector, termite company, and even a home warranty company. So you have all of these players that are involved. And the list goes on, there's even more. Look at the lender like being the quarterback. And we know how important a quarterback is in a football game. So a quarterback's job is to direct his team toward the end zone. And the end zone for us would be the close of escrow and making sure that a customer gets exactly what they thought that they were going to get when they started the journey as far as a loan is concerned. One of the biggest criticisms that lenders get is what we call bait and switch, where they'll tell you that they can do all of these wonderful things, or you'll see different commercials on television, and then all of a sudden, once you give them your social security number and they run credit, they all of a sudden want to switch to something different, and that program you thought you were going to get is no longer available. So that's one of the biggest things, that when you're choosing a lender, you want to make sure that they're giving you a realistic view of what you can actually do and not baiting you in with some imaginary rate and term that they're not able to produce on. They're going to take the time, a good lender, to research programs and to match you with a product that best suits your needs. And that goes for interest rate, down payment, and also loan amount. It needs to be something that's affordable for you. Sometimes you can qualify for more than you want to spend, and sometimes you want to spend more than what you qualify for. So it's their job to guide you through that process. Integrity is really high because integrity means that they're going to stay by your side through the long haul. They're not going to show up in the beginning and then all of a sudden disappear, but they're going to stay par for the course. I always call it escrow abandonment, because once you get into escrow, all of a sudden you're like, where'd the lender go? And then it comes time to close escrow and they're disappearing. So you want to make sure that you have a lender with high integrity. Also, during the underwriting process, because that's mainly what's going on when you're in escrow, you want to make sure that the lender is going to be very involved in that process, because typically underwriting is done by a separate person, separate department than the loan officer that originated the loan. So you want to make sure that they're hands-on and they're involved in that underwriting process so that they can keep an eye on it. They can have the foresight to see possible roadblocks, and they'll be able to work along with the underwriter to meet whatever conditions come up as a result of the underwriting process. Also, you want to make sure that part of their integrity and staying par for the course is that there are no unnecessary delays, because delays end up costing everybody a lot of time and in a lot of cases money, because there are times when a buyer will be charged for late fees and penalties by the seller. And if you have your interest rate locked in for a set period of time, typically 30 or 45 days, once you have unnecessary delays, you end up having to pay for rate extensions. So that can be very problematic when there's escrow abandonment by a lender. So those are just a few things for you to think about. But what I can tell you is most real estate brokers like myself that have been in the business any amount of time should be able to refer you to a good lender. So if you're having trouble finding someone on your own, don't be seduced by rates and programs that you hear advertised. Be just as concerned about the integrity and the reputation of the lender in addition to the rate, because rates mean absolutely nothing if they can't get the deal closed. Okay, that's my 2 cents. I'll see you later. Thanks.